Hi, good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for sticking around towards the end of the day. We're going to transition a bit and talk about recreation out here in Carson City. My name is Chelsea Kincheloe. I've been president of the board since 2020. I actually just started my second term and will be serving until 2024. So talk about muscle powered. So we were established to make Carson City healthier for all citizens, as well as safer and more accessible for bicycling and walking. We do this through a couple different components. We do this through education and advocacy, which, as I was reminded at our last board meeting, was nearly 25 years ago now. And that's kind of how we got our start. And so we've kind of now transitioned into this promotion of bicycle and pedestrian friendly infrastructure, and then developing and maintaining those recreational trails throughout the city. And I hope you guys have like a chance to get out and experience a lot of trails that we have built and maintained. We strive to build a community where walking and biking, either for recreation or for transportation, are an integral and accepted way of life. It's kind of our mission and vision. So kind of filling that component, those components for mission and vision, we break that down into 3 different programs. So prior to 2020, we actually had a very robust hiking program. We are working on bringing that back. We've kind of been searching around for volunteers, and I would like to say that one of our board members, our vice president, has stepped up and is actively recruiting volunteers to kind of get that hike program back up and running again. And again, this is a way to introduce people to our trails out here, as well as just to get you out and socialize and enjoy just a really nice walk. Our bike program, we've had kind of intermittent rides throughout the past couple of years, primarily due to COVID, but we do have a big bike month, which is upcoming in May. And so that's when we put on a lot of our different events, promoting bicycle infrastructure and really challenging people to get out and ride your bikes for the entire month of May. And then finally, again, kind of I think what we've become more known for is our trails program. So kind of all at the base of this, as I mentioned, we started off as like an advocacy group. And so at the core of this, we still are a big component and voice out here in Carson City for a walkable and bikeable Carson City. So one thing that I will note that we've stood up proud and loud for in the past year has been the Kings Canyon Trailhead road improvements. That's been a close partnership with Carson City Parks, Rec and Open Space, the U.S. Forest Service, and Public Works. And so I don't know if Greg had a chance to talk about that, but the waterfall trailhead up in Kings Canyon is getting a big improvement. We're very excited about all of that that's been going on. We always have to give a shout out to our partners here in Carson. As I just mentioned, we work very closely with CPROS, the U.S. Forest Service, Public Works, and recently within the past year, we are working more closely with the Bureau of Land Management. So we have an agreement to maintain trails. Again, I keep repeating with the same partners, but these are all very crucial people that we work very closely with that allow us to build and maintain a lot of those trails that we have. We are currently in charge of maintaining, and I've recently learned that this number is scarily going up, but now we're at 44 that we are responsible for, and I think we're close to 80 for what's proposed and in the works. So just keep that in mind that you guys will soon have access over the coming years to upwards of 80 trails out here in Carson City, which is a very impressive number. We are proud of our accomplishments and record. We design, permit, finance, with partners, help construct and maintain these sustainable trails. And we do use erosion control measures and best management practices to protect our watershed drainages and streams. So kind of looking at our origins into trail building starts with one key figure, Mr. Jeff Potter. He had this amazing dream for a trail that ran from Ash to Kings. So he's kind of this rogue trail builder. And luckily Juan Guzman, who was the open space manager at the time, was smart enough to bring in Jeff and kind of build this vision together to bring you now this award-winning trail. Kind of looking at our new trail, we have been approved alongside with the city for 5 new trails up on Prison Hill, which is this amazing trail system that we have right here in Carson City. So I'm just gonna ask you guys to hold on while we begin construction on Odyssey Trail right now. This is gonna be a couple years in the work. So just kind of hold tight with us. We'll definitely announce when those trails are open and accessible to the public. And so you guys can get out and enjoy those new trails. In 2020, we applied for a recreational trails program grant for these 2 keystone trails that we are excited to bring to Carson City. We did receive funding for those. So Lincoln Bypass, which is a connector trail from the Longview Trailhead to Ashta Kings. It avoids the Kings Canyon Road, and it's a 2-mile extension of the current Longview Trail. So this one is almost done. There's some rock work left to do on it, but we were able to complete a pretty big portion of it last year. And so we will be having a grand opening later this year for this trail. And then Cap to Tahoe, which I think people are probably most excited about, because that's going to connect you from Ashta Kings all the way up to the Tahoe Rim Trail. So right now, we still have 2 miles out of the 11 complete for this. And so we are hoping, fingers crossed, pending like heat and smoke and all that, that we're able to get that trail completed this year too. Obviously, we'll keep you guys updated as to the update or to the status of those 2 trails. This is kind of a very busy map, but what I'm trying to convey through this is the importance of connectivity of our trails out here in Carson City. We really are trying to build a trail system that allows you to go from Carson all the way up to Tahoe, back down again, hopefully with CVTA connecting us to Douglas, and really just expanding all of the connectivity out here in the Carson Valley. Looking forward, we applied for a planning grant with our partners NCE, the Great Basin Institute, the Bureau of Land Management, and with help from the Carson Tourism Authority to start a series of trails behind Centennial Park. So we got our planning grant this year. So we're getting all the clearances completed for that. And once we have that completed, then we can go back and get more funding to actually start building. So that first phase 1 is going to be from Centennial Park to Washoe State Park. So again, just creating more connectivity, hopefully someday like going all the way up to Virginia City. So that's the other big new trail system that we are currently in the works on. So I talked a lot about like the trails that we're currently building or planning on building. And as I mentioned, we work very closely with our partners on maintaining these trails. So I want to kind of like bring that to light because that is like a lot of work that we have to do. And so trail brushing is a event that we have open to the public. And it's a great way for people to get involved. You don't need any previous trail experience, helps keeps our trails enjoyable for all multi-users. And I do stress that because all of our trails are built to standard for multi-users. And so we are looking for people to volunteer May through October just to come out, brush some trail, make it look clean and great for people who are out riding or hiking. The right of entries to adopt trails, this is something we acquired over a year ago, but it kind of still ties back into those trail brushing efforts. So we did gain right of entries to those trails located on WNC, which are the Jackrabbit, Beachy Rim, Seven Steps, Postal, and Deer Runs. If you guys are familiar with those were formerly not, we were not able to access those easily for maintenance purposes, but now we are able to access those. We worked very closely with Greg to get that accomplished. So, and then of course, we are a volunteer run organization. We only have one part-time paid employee, and so we would not be where we are without the assistance of our crew leads. And of course, I'll give a shout out to Pete. He is our trails coordinator, and he works, I think, a full-time job on all of our trail stuff. And it's a very big task to take on. And so we also just want to give a shout out to all of our other crew leads as well who help us achieve all these trail builds. Earlier last year, I'm going to point out to Shane here. Shane concocted this wonderful idea of actually getting all of our trail maps onto an app. So right now we have our map that's in paper form. So now we are just working on getting it all into an app form. We actually just went through the process of getting an Esri account, so getting like ArcGIS and actually getting more of that trail data that we need to then upload to the app for people to use. So thank you, Shane. And then I always like to do a looking forward or challenges that we are still currently experiencing. With that hike program, like I said, we are like slowly kind of getting back into the rhythm of getting hikes put back on the calendar, getting more people out and experiencing the trails out here. So that's a really exciting thing that recently happened. And then to maintain and grow our exceptional hike of leaders. So if you guys are interested in leading some hikes, like please let us know. We'd love to have you. And then also to serve various skill and age levels of our trail users. Looking at the bike program, continuing just to grow and expand the May bike bunch. And so last year we introduced a gear swap. We're looking to do that again this year, as well as just continuing several of our other programs that we've offered throughout the past couple of years or throughout May Bike Month. And just to continue to explore mountain bike ride programs serving various age and fitness levels, we did have like a Tuesday evening all women's mountain biking group that met during the summer. And so we're kind of looking to bring some of those similar programs back, just again, getting people out and on our trails. And then to encourage collaborations with Epic or similar venues. So Epic Rides was a mountain biking race that took place, I think, for the past 3 years. And so just due to COVID disruptions on their end, they are not coming back to back to Carson this year, but we're looking at hopefully next year of getting that partnership reestablished. And then with the trail program, as I said, 44 miles of trail and quickly growing, just increasing our capacity to maintain those trails for our trail users. And then to increase the education and courtesy behavior on the trail. COVID saw a humongous uptick in users. And so what we're trying to do now is kind of catch up and learn how to educate everyone on how to engage with like different recreation types out on those trails. A big part of that is signage, and we've worked very closely with Greg to create appropriate signage, but also just doing more outreach for people to better understand. And then to increase our regional connectivity. As I mentioned, we're a volunteer-run organization. All of my volunteers, including the board, just give a lot when none of us have a lot of time, but we understand the importance of this organization out here in Carson City. So a big thanks to our volunteers. And then just to kind of give you an idea, including myself, we have a total of 9 people on our board. And they all come from very diverse backgrounds, which bring different perspectives to muscle powered. Then I did just want to throw this in real quick. So I mentioned that part-time assistant, she actually got a permit to go hike PCT. So we're saying farewell to Kelly, and we are currently looking for someone to do 15 hours a week, just helping us with the admin day-to-day side for muscle powered. And then if you guys have any questions, if you guys want any more information on any of the trails or anything else I've talked about today, please feel free to email us. And you can also follow us on our social media and also check out our website. So that is it. Thank you.